And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. Before we get into today's video, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Scottish football content. Look, it's very rarely that I come on here and do a match reaction, but I do have to get this off my chest, and that is that Giovanni van Bronckhorst must be dismissed as Rangers manager within the next couple of hours. Look, things have gone too far now. I do personally believe the league is over for Rangers and a rebuild must commence. Look, Giovanni van Bronckhorst, football has been so boring, or Geo Ball as some of the Rangers fans like to call it, has not been good enough so far this season. It really hasn't. I know Europe was a disaster in itself, but even domestically, Rangers haven't looked good enough. Yes, they were getting points, they were getting wins against sides, and they were a bit unlucky with injuries, but just over the last 2-3 games, I mean, Aberdeen actually was a positive, but against Livingston, against St Johnstone, it just hasn't been good enough. Over the last 3 games, Rangers have had 89 shots and have only got 4 points out of it. So possession hasn't been a thing. It's creativity. Balls going into the box constantly. Nothing being created. It's so frustrating to watch. And whilst I do think there's a lot more problems here at Rangers at the moment, it has to stop with the manager. Giovanni van Bronckhorst is training these players, and he's putting these players out every single week, and he's making them do this. Or he's a part of this plan, or this is a part of the match plan, and it's just not working. 89 shots in the last 3 games and only got 4 points out of it. That shows what's a problem. So it has to start with Giovanni van Bronckhorst being sacked. Look, there has been positives of Giovanni van Bronckhorst's tenure. Look, of course, he went to the Europa League final. That will never be forgotten. And, of course, the Scottish Cup win, etc. But domestically last season, there was problems there. And so far at the start of this season, there has been problems both in Europe and domestically. So he hasn't been hanging on Europe so far this year. So it is a problem. And I think Rangers need to now fire him going into these last 2 games. Maybe get a caretaker manager in for the final 2 games, and then there's a great opportunity here during the World Cup break to get somebody else in, identify what they need, get somebody else to have this time that's you're not going to get any time in the season if you wait to the new year. You've got this month or so to work with the players, and I don't think there's a lot of Rangers players actually going to the World Cup, so it'll be perfect. It'll almost be like a pre-season. There's going to be some pre-season. There's going to be some friendlies being played as well. So it's the perfect opportunity now to bring somebody in. And whilst I don't think Rangers will win the league this year, it is an opportunity to salvage something. Look, the league isn't over. If you go into the break 7 points behind and come in with a new manager, fresh ideas, go into the transfer market that's just around the corner, then there is something to salvage there. If not, then rebuild, go into next season and sort of challenge for the title. You've seen with the Celtic, it can happen very quickly. Look, Ange Postecoglou came in and everything changed pretty quickly. So that has to happen. A new manager has to come in. Again, I don't think Giovanni van Bronckhorst is the only problem. Look, the board needs to be reshuffled. Bring new people in. Get freshness amongst the board up there who are making the decisions. Ross Wilson, his transfers just haven't been good enough over the last few years. So he's another guy that needs to go. You have to be held accountable. We all have jobs, right? And we're all held accountable if we do something wrong. I think he's made 26, 27 signings or something like that, and most of them are injured or most of them are duds. I can only really think of a handful of players that have actually been successful and are actually competing within the Rangers side. So as I said, they both need to go, and there is a lot of things that need to happen at Rangers over the next from between now until the end of the season. But the first thing is the manager. And as I say, I just want to say to Giovanni van Bronckhorst, it's been a great run. It was last season was absolutely magical in the Europa League, but look, it's just not good enough. It's just not the right fit, and I think Rangers will be better suited if they do get a new manager. Speaking then on a new manager, who do you go and get? Obviously, if Rangers do sack Giovanni van Bronckhorst, there's a few names rumbling about at the moment. Of course, the Bodo Glimt manager, Nautzen. You got Sean Dyche is being talked about. Scott Parker, I said earlier on, as a young manager, hungry. Who else has been? Is the Rail Vallecano, the guy who used to manage them. There's so many different names sort of getting branded about, and I'm interested to see what Rangers fans actually think. Who do you think should be the next Rangers manager? Because Giovanni van Bronckhorst, certainly if he doesn't get sacked over the next couple of hours, he is certainly on borrowed time, because I've seen the internet go into an absolute S-storm and are really, really calling for his head now. Once the Ibrox crowd turn, you haven't really got long in a job, and Giovanni van Bronckhorst days are certainly numbered. Guys, that brings us to the end of today's sort of small rant. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Giovanni van Bronckhorst should be given time? There probably is a few fans out there that do believe he should be given time. And if so, if not, if you do want him sacked, then please let me know who you would want to replace him as manager of Rangers Football Club. As I say, that brings us to the end of today's video. Guys, please do smash that like button and hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.